Welcome back, folks. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. Nice to have you with us. Remember, of course, going into our score competition, and at the end of this segment, we're going to show you a couple of DIY tips from Decro Paints. Decro Paints is, of course, on board with Cape Rugby TV. Decro brings paints to life. Remember, Decro Paints, folks, for those of you that maybe don't know, have got a fantastic walk-in store. They're a national brand. In fact, I think even a global brand. They've got a fantastic store at N1 City. So if you need to get any of your paint solutions, then that's the place to go. Get down to the Decro at N1 City. But otherwise, of course, Decro brings paints to life. Right, we're going to take a look now. Second half highlights, Tygerberg Hamiltons. Welcome back. So, Jerome, final result then. Of course, well, let me just go to those final results. And in fact, we're going to have to take a look at some of the big fixtures as well coming up this weekend. But final result then going in favor of Hamilton's, I think it was 38 points to 5. I must say, the two things that I noticed there was that Hamilton's was using the width of the field, but so was Tygerberg. I also noticed that Hamilton's were putting in some big hits. But on the other hand, I did feel that I saw some good running rugby from Tygerberg.
Yeah, they've played, but unfortunately, it's like the first half. In Hamilton's 22, there's either a knock on or something went wrong, so they couldn't keep the ball through phases too long in the 22. That's actually where you want to have patience and keep the ball. So they were there a couple of times, they couldn't. One thing that I think, if I look at the Tygerberg forwards, they almost look bigger than Hamilton's forwards, but Hamilton's were still scrumming them, so that's one bad aspect of the game. I mean, they've got a big pack of forwards, so they're supposed to match Hamilton's with their forwards, so they were walking back there, and there's one scrum that I've seen. So, but overall, yeah, they played, but they played, but they didn't go anywhere. Where Hamilton's convert their 22, they converted into points.
All right, so let's take a look at all of the results combined now. We'll go to our live feed here. Kuilsriver against Durban. Kuilsriver 17 went down 43-17. Hamilton's went down, Hamilton's with a 29-5 win over Tygerberg. St. George's went down to Unimil. Of course, Helderberg went down to Brackenfell. And then False Bay going down 31-28 to Villages. Collegians went 20-15 over Langa, and then Belleville 26-16 over Strand, CPUT 57-31 over Young Peoples. Vineyards went down to SK Women's 28 points to 5, and then Hands and Hearts 51-10 over Primrose. Let's quickly take a look at those results there, Jerome. Collegians will be happy with that result, 20-15 over Langa.
Yeah, and I mean, Collegians still play away from home, so they'll be happy with taking that points. Yeah, I think
they'll want to take this win. Collegians will want to take this win this week. That win that they had last weekend against Langa, and I'll tell you why. This weekend they're playing against SK Warmers, and we'll talk about that in our barometer. But that's going to be a massive match this weekend. Collegians against SK.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one, and I think again it's a neutral field. I think they play Tygerberg field this week. So, but that's going to be a big derby game there.
Yeah. Folks, then of course Belleville 26-16 over Strand, CPUT 57-31 over Young Peoples, SK Warmers with a win over Vineyards, and Hands on Hearts 51-10 over Primrose. Just a quick correction there, folks. By the way, it was not, when I said earlier on that the Belhar Vineyards game was postponed, it wasn't the Belhar Vineyards game, it was the Belhar Paarl game. That was the match that was postponed. Let's take a look at the results in Super League C now. Van der Stel with a win over Morningstar. This, of course, takes them to the top of the log in Super League C. Kraaifontein with a win over Blue Jays. Scottsdene went down to Peniel Villages. Macassar 50-13 over Blue Stars. Busy Bees with a win over Albions. Hamadias with a win over Rangers. And then Masiphumelele beat Yesterofir by just 2 points. Whistling Wheels 29-25 over Excelsior. Windmill United 25-12 over Delft. Wraithby went down to Strand United, and Stellenbosch Coronations went down to Silurians. In the City League, Kelly's went over 33-19 over Elsie's. A win for Gardens over Police, and Manenberg Rangers 17-7 over Silvertree. Young Wesley's with a loss to Titans. Peninsula with a big win over Thistles. Noordlikers going down to Young Stars. And then there's the match we're going to look at in a second. Rocklands 7-all against Retreat, and Laguna with a loss to Atlantis. Right, folks, well, of course, as you know, Decro Paints is on board with Cape Rugby TV and, of course, brings paint to life. And every week we bring you a little DIY video from Decro. Here's this week's one. Right, there we go. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the highlights between Rocklands and Retreat, and we're also going to do your barometer. There you see Decro behind me right now. Back in a sec, don't go away.